Hey everybody, Vaping Trucker coming at you with my first ever YouTube video. Pretty excited about doing this. I get bored in a truck and get a chance to mix maybe a couple times a week, sometimes just once a week, but I enjoy doing it and it helps keep my sanity. Uh, so today I'm going to be making a caramel coffee cheesecake. Uh, it kind of resulted, I got some new flavorings in and I've had them for a little while, hadn't used them. So I decided to make something with them finally, and this is what I come up with, and it actually turned out pretty good. Bad news is it takes about a month to steep out, about 30 days to steep. But at the end of 30 days, it's pretty good. I vaped through the 130 mils that I made in probably a week and a half. So I vaped it quite a bit. Uh, so let's get to this. First flavor is salted caramel from Flavor West. It's in at a 0.5%, so making a 100 milliliter batch, so zero point 0.5 on the scale. I added this because the next ingredient here, Hankson's caramel mocha, the caramel note after the steep was not very strong, and I wanted more of a caramel flavor, so we put some salted caramel in there. This is a Hankson's caramel mocha in at 2%, so 2 grams on the scale. Next, the caramel mocha was one of the new flavors. It's Hankson Cheesecake at 1%. It's also one of the new flavors that I wanted to try. This flavor will be released, or this recipe will be released on all the flavors once this video goes up. Uh, and you all, if you mix a recipe, try to remember to go back and rate it, whether it's good or bad. Um, just let the people know. I mean, it helps us make better recipes, um, and it can encourage or discourage other people to mix it too. So uh, this is Lorange cheesecake at 3%, so 3 grams on the scale. Uh, with these reviews, you should also try to leave something. I mean, don't just say it's good. You can say it's good because I like the cheesecake, or it's bad because it didn't have any flavor, or the strawberry sucks, or whatever it is. But just try to be helpful in your review if you can. And if you don't want to do a review, just leave a comment. You can leave comments, and they come in this handy just as well. This cheesecake graham crust from TPA at 2.5%, 2.5 on the scale. We got Lorange cream cheese icing, also at 2%. Now, what I usually do when I do stuff like this is I will take a recipe, uh, I will mix it in I'll put 25 milliliters in the 30 milliliter bottle, and I'll mix it and then I'll taste it. And if I think it has promise, then I'll go ahead and I'll mix a 100 milliliter batch for that to be steeping. Cap's creamy yogurt at 0.75%, 0.75 on the scale. Uh, that way, as it's steeping, I can continue to taste it, uh, and that helps me find the good steep time when the flavor change comes and everything kind of melds together. As well as if I have my 30 milliliter batch and I find it needs more strawberry or more whatever, I can just add that to the bigger batch and let it steep out until everything comes to where I want it to be. Anywhere custard at 3%. Also, kind of the whole ideal behind what I'm trying to do is I have a lot of people or know a lot of people who drive a truck, and they vape. And I know you hear guys say, well, you can't mix in a truck. You can't do this in a truck. You can't do that in a truck. Well, I just want to show everybody you can mix in a truck. My truck is running. It's on my scale and everything is on my little pull-out drawer here. And it doesn't vibrate the scale or any of that, so I'm able to mix in the truck. Um, and so future videos, I'll show kind of how I store my concentrates and maybe give some guys some ideals, some people some ideals on how they could do the same thing if they enjoy mixing. Before I did it in the truck, I was having to guess at home how much juice I needed before I would be home again. That rarely ever worked out. So I ended up buying juice still, and that gets expensive. Plus, you got to find a vape shop that has a place where you can park a truck, or you got to walk a mile to get there, or whatever, which is fine. I mean, I need the exercise, but this is just a lot more economical. So, Cap Super Sweet, the last ingredient at 0.5%. As always, this is optional. I just found that Hankston coffee can be a little bitter, and 0.5% kind of helps uh, smooth that out. Now, I get my nicotine from Carolina Extract. I usually use the PG version. Messed up this time and ordered VG. It's almost gone, so I can get back right. 3 milligrams of Nic, VG base, 3.71 on the scales. I'm also looking for new ways, better camera angles where you can see the scale, uh, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, for a first video, hopefully this will come out okay. It won't be too bad. I know it can be kind of boring just watching somebody else mix. I've got to get used to mixing and talking at the same time because my ADD kicks in a little bit. All right, VG or PG 14.97. I'm mixing this at 70/30. And it took me a while to realize when I mix these big batches, because not all recipes have the same amount of flavoring in them. And I noticed it didn't take me a long time to figure it out, but I did have to ponder a little bit on why every time that I mixed a 100 milliliter batch at 70/30, my VG ratio or my VG weight was always 84.88. It took me a while to figure that out, but then you kind of realize that, you know, 70% of 100 milliliters is always going to be 84.88 on the scale. So, yeah, it was one of them moments. Close enough. All right, so that's it, guys. Let's mix this up. And I had some other stuff that I want to talk about, but for the life of me, I can't tell you what it is. Uh, this NorPro mixer works pretty good for smaller batches. You get up here in the bigger bottle. It's good for an initial mix, but I still shake it. I don't know if you can see, but it's swirling down here in the very bottom. So I know it's mixing. I just don't know that it gets mixed through it all good enough. So I mix it like this just to give it an initial mix. Huh. Yeah, I'm in Chicago. They've got quite a bit of snow here recently. It's still snowing now, which is no good for what I do for a living. Uh, Pretty to look at, not so pretty to drive in. So, all right, put a cap on. I always, even stuff that I mixed up before, I always taste it after I mix it. I don't know if I'm expecting it to taste different or just want to be sure that I remember what it tastes like. So this is my 30 milliliter bottle of the caramel coffee. It's almost empty. So we're going to take some of this fresh and put it on my recoil. Got Tricor fused Clapton coils, 70 watts at zero point 0.3 ohms. Let's see how this works out. Yes, that's pretty good. It's creamy. Uh, the Hankson coffee, as with most coffees, has that. I've always called it like a skunky flavor. Some people call it a burnt flavor. Uh, I just call it skunky. So it does have that note in it. And as I said before, after letting this steep for 30 days, that note is at a minimum at that point. Uh, the cheesecake really comes out nice. It's not a true cheesecake vape. It's not a true coffee vape, but it turns out very good, nice and rich, and just really good. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. Um, Give me a subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting more stuff out. I won't say that I'll do a video every week. Once freight picks back up again, right now it's kind of our slow time after the holidays. Once freight picks back up, I'm not sure that I'll have time to do a video every week or a couple a week or whatever. But I'll keep y'all updated. Until then, keep trucking, keep on vaping, and everybody stay safe. Thanks.